Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. I hate to tell you guys, I don't hate to. That's just not true. That I'm right. Because I am right. And I'm not bragging about that, but I'm right. I told you guys the NFL thing with Trump, huge. People are like, Kevin, he shouldn't be taking a stance on this and all that. I told you guys, don't you let this, forget the myth of the left. This is bigger than you could possibly imagine. I said, let Trump be Trump. It will ferret out the rats. It will showcase leftism at its finest. You've seen people want him killed. You've seen people attacking him. You've seen the leftists, come out talking about these black people are oppressed, and everybody's looking at it going, who are you talking about? You're not talking about, Ethiopians picking, stuff out of their eyes and with distended bellies. We're talking about multimillionaire players that have never experienced anything close to what the cops are what they're talking about with these cops. And when they were experiencing it, they deserved it. I was talking to a dude the other day. I said, man, I'm from the hood. I grew up in the hood. When my uncle, I won't tell you what he was into, but I watched the cops beat my uncle up. And I'm telling you, to a person, I was a kid, to a person, every one of us went, he deserved that butt kicking. He's over there lipping off, trying to fight. They were just poof, 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 poof. Nobody jumped in to stop. Stop what? When you tell somebody, shut up and just go get your medicine, which is what my grandmother was saying to him, and he wouldn't do it, she walked away. Said, y'all do what you need to him. If he won't listen to his own mother, who's trying to save him, then whoop his butt. That was my grandmother's take on it. See, that was when people understood that if you're going to try to swing at a cop or whatever, you're lucky that you don't end up in prison, which my uncle did. He ended up in prison, but that's a whole other deal, too. He didn't end up in prison over that. So I've watched this kind of stuff. When somebody says to me, oh, Kevin, a black guy got arrested, I'm like, yeah, well, so what was he doing? What do you mean, what was he doing? He was selling drugs? What was he doing? Was he selling drugs? Was he trying to run prostitutes? Was he what? What was he doing? You're telling me he was innocent? I don't know very many cops that just roll up on totally innocent. Don't misunderstand me. If you're totally innocent and a cop says, excuse me, what are you doing out? I just came from the store. Oh, okay. Well, where are you headed? I'm heading home. Where else would I be headed? Okay. Well, can I see some ID? Absolutely, officer. Here. Boom. He shouldn't be able to ask you for ID. He can ask me for everything except, stuff that I don't know. I know what I know. Here's my license. Here's this. Here's that. I get it. You got to identify. I've told you guys about the time when the cop gave me a ticket and I didn't think I deserved it. But big deal. 99.9% of the times I've been stopped by cops, which is many times, and I don't know how I survived, but I did. Anyway, I digress. All I'm talking about is all these things that are occurring, they're huge, and don't downplay them. Don't allow them to be downplayed. Donald Trump has done more for capitalism. Every time I go on Fox Business and I'm asking Neil and Stewart and others, I'm saying, guys, I want to come on here. I want to talk to corporate America. And I want to tell corporate America, you're welcome. Because like Jesse Jackson has been tormenting you over the past few decades, I'm going to put you back on top. I'm going to tell your employees things like, you know what? If you stop focusing on the nonsense and the politics of the world and you start focusing on being the best company you can be, if you take pride in your work and pride in your coworker and you guys stick together regardless of race, creed, color, gender, ethnicity, etc., you're going to build an amazing company. It's as simple as that. If you think about innovation as much as your risk department has to think about all the things that you're potentially bringing in the form of lawsuits, imagine if that money went into employee programs. How much are you spending on risk, Mr. CFO? Just so you guys are aware, you spend, and I'd give them a number, $50 billion a year. No, it's not that much, but whatever, $50 million a year on risk. I'm not talking about shrinkage. I'm talking about potential for lawsuits, settlement of lawsuits, blah, blah, blah. If you could take a fraction, a big number, a chunk of that number and put it into put it into innovation, R&D, what's going to happen? You're going to be a better company. I want to talk to CEOs and CXOs and get into that circuit of telling them You better stop with this PC nonsense. You better stop with these employee associations for women and gay women and this and that, black women, minority women, and whatever, midgets. You got to stop it. And you better stop it right now, because the sooner you stop it, the better you're going to be, the faster you become the best company in your industry. Let those other guys fight that battle. They want to go out there and, well, I'm a winner. We don't have to. Look, be proud of your employees, all of them. When you find them, definitely tout your diversity, but don't tout it for the sake of, well, we have this many women and this many minorities, this many that. Tout it because somebody stepped forward. Let some woman come forward because she dreams of doing something big in your company. Let her do it. Encourage her to do it, but not through you're a woman. Do it because you're good. Prove it. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. All this was meant to tell you that NFL thing was huge. It's going to save companies. And you know what else I told you was huge? I told you this Harvey Weinstein story was huge. I told you it's only the beginning. I told you this is a ripple effect through Hollywood that is going to create a rift that you're going to be able to time travel through. What are you talking about, time travel, Kevin? I'm talking about this dude was living like the 1950s Mad Men show. He's using women, and let me tell you why he was doing it. Harvey Weinstein was a fat Jewish kid, probably with bad skin, body odor, you name it. He was a slob. Nobody liked Harvey Weinstein. And I don't know whether his dad was rich or poor. I don't know how they grew up. He probably grew up in the typical Jewish family, which is a, whole family. His mom, I know his mom's name is Miriam and his dad's name is Max. That's how they started Miramax. So they start their production studio and they're doing some good. And I know Harvey's anti-cop. He's a total leftist. He's a secular Jew, not a practicing Jew. He doesn't care about Israel, the Jewish state. He doesn't even care about America. In fact, he's anti-American, if you really strike it down. And he's certainly anti-cop. So Harvey grew up, and I don't know what it is. Jews seem to have a talent for diamond cutting and making movies. Good for them. And a lot of comics. Funny people. And so they've got these talents and they put them together, but they don't put them together for the good of America. Because let's face it, I've got a lot of Jewish friends. They're kind of negative. Jewish mother's like, he's not married. It's like, what is he? You got to be like 100. You got to be 100 before you give me grandbabies. There's nothing you can do good for a Jewish mom. It just is an impossibility. Second only to an Italian mother. Why aren't you married? Come on, you're letting your good years go by. I mean, come on. So I don't know what the deal is, but this is where we are. These are huge stories. And I want to talk about these stories because I'm telling you, these are huge. What's going to happen with Harvey Weinstein in the next few weeks will blow the lid off of Hollywood. You think, and it's going to be such an in-your-face affront to Hollywood. Trump is going to laugh at them. They even continue to bring up his comment in the locker room, and Trump was like, it's locker room, but you just wait.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.